Yeah, different but same. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon. So happy that you've come to join us today. We are talking about something that's really out there in the world, and it's all about attitude. Everything is about attitude of getting yourself ready to go. And just to let you know, our Blazers did win last night. They beat the Lakers. And I talked about how just showing up to win was so important. And that's kind of what we're going for right now. And Terry's distracted by our banners.
Banners aren't working right now.
So there's basically 4 mental attitudes that we coach in our programs, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And it really helps you stop and identify kind of where you are by what's going on and what's coming out of your mouth, even though it's coming from within you. So let's jump into what the 4 mental attitudes are that we talked about. The first one is a vulnerable, dominated state. And this is kind of where you're saying, I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that idea.
To me. And so when we're talking about the attitudes, we're also talking about mindset, but the mindset really is dictated by our emotional state. And so what we're talking about with vulnerable, dominated attitude, we're talking about a dominated state or a dominated emotional state. And so we're feeling like we can't do things. We feel like we're unsure. Face. I got an angry face.
Someone's commented
angry face. I got you. I was like, I got an angry face. I thought my face was kind of happy. But what we're talking about is, I don't know. I'm not comfortable with the idea because we're in fear of some sort. And so we're not sure how to move forward. We're not sure if it sounds good. We're really apprehensive, or we're hesitant about moving forward because emotionally we're frightened. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up, or a happy face would be good. The second one we're talking about is a protective attitude, where we don't like that idea. It won't work for me. That angry face looks really actually accurate for this one. It's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to go there. And what we're doing is we're actually fighting against our fear. And so they're just not going to make me do it. I'm not going to try it. I'm not going to do anything. I don't want to do it.
So let me ask you a question to that. Like, as I'm hearing that, I'm thinking stubborn. Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, a lot of people when they talk about their being stubborn, or you notice somebody being stubborn, really what's going on is they're dominated by their emotions. They're frightened about moving forward. They don't understand why it would be good to move forward, and they're not on board with your idea.
Like, are they afraid of like being embarrassed, or it may not turn out the way that they think it should, or that it has for somebody else?
All of those things. And really what they're doing is they're trying to cross a bridge before they get to it. And it's very scary. And they're thinking about what might happen, and it's gone poorly in their mind. And so rather than even trying it, they're just like, nope, that won't work. I don't like it. It won't work for me. We're not doing that. And so they just decide to put the brakes on, dig in their heels, and they're not going to do it.
So there's another way that protective attitude shows up too, not as the stubborn, that's not going to work for me.
Right. And it's almost the exact opposite. It won't work. And I love that idea. I hope it's going to work. And it's still future tripping. It's still worried about what's not going to work. It's still really focused on that fear that things aren't going to work. And then they're hoping that it's going to work. And so a friend of mine, Aaron, says they're smoking the hopium. And what they're doing is they're just focused on what could go wrong and hoping that it's going to work. And they're not really looking for what's next. Hey, Tim, good to see you. And so we're living in this idea of hope, and we're hoping that things work out. We're looking at all of the possibilities of what could happen instead of being really intentional in the moment about what we're doing to make that decision or make that choice work for us. And so that really actually brings us to...
So it's the next one, basically taking out of the hope and taking it into action is this next one.
Right. And so we can only really, when we're in a balanced emotional state, a balanced intentional state, we actually are over any of the fears, and we're taking steps. And we still might have fear, but they're not stopping us. And so we're actually able to engage in the next right thing. We're actually able to engage moving forward and trying things out and being experimental and being adventurous and getting into the dangerous things, seeing what happens and seeing what can work out. And
so really that what I'm hearing is you say like that openness and that trusting others who are your advisors, guides, mentors.
For sure. And, everything that we do that's new is scary. I mean, it is scary. We don't know what's going to happen. We got our little protector telling us bad things are going to happen. And we can either listen to that and protect ourselves and step back from it, or we can identify that that's scary and we might be embarrassed and there might be all of these things that happen, and we can do it anyway. And when we have, support of a partner or support of our team or support of our coach or whoever is working with us, and it really is a team sport. Everything we do is a team sport. We want to do it together. And when we say, I love that idea, I know it's going to work for me, what we're really doing is we're committing to the belief that we can have success if we just keep going. And so,
yeah. And I mean, just opening up to other people and other people's suggestions, the opportunities that are presented by just engaging with other people just blows my mind. I mean, just what's happened for us, what's been put in front of us the last few days is just like mind blowing.
Yeah. And it's really when we decide that we're not going to dig our heels in and say, no, or it's not going to work. We're not going to hope that it's going to work. We're not going to be afraid to move forward. We're going to think about from a balanced, intentional place. I love this idea. I know it's going to work for me.
How can I?
How can I move forward? And then take the guidance of the people that are talking to us. Take the guidance and do the step-by-step procedures, whatever they might be, to find out what's on the other side of it. And so it's so simple that we want to argue it. It's so simple that we want to try to make it more difficult. And really, when it comes down to it, we want to admit our fears. We want to let those fears be known to ourselves and to the other people that are in our lives, and then intentionally move forward, asking for the help, accepting the help, and then following the suggestions of those people who have done it. And when we're doing that, we're living intentionally. And when we run into trouble, we ask for more help. And it's funny. Christine and I started a coaching journey a couple of years ago with some coaches, and all we've done is ask for more help and more help and more help. And we follow the suggested instructions. We ask for the resources. We follow the directions. We don't just think that they're suggestions and we can or can't do them. And when we started, we actually did kind of do that a little bit, and we'd pick and choose. And then we just started, you know what? We want what our coaches have. And so when they tell us to do something, we do it. And we just follow the plan. And when we follow the plan, we get some results.
I think it's so important to ask too. I mean, ask for the assistance and find the people that are there looking to grow you, help you grow. That's one of the things that they're passionate about. I mean, we had Tim on this presentation, and I mean, if you want to learn about podcasts and social media content, that's the guy. I mean, and it's finding those people that are experts and asking and vetting and just growing and saying yes to the opportunities that are in front of you. So,
yeah. And it's, she mentioned Tim. Tim is one person that we just absolutely love. He knows a lot of people. And the fact of the matter is we feel blessed to have him in our life. And we talk to him as often as we can, and he's really busy. We're really busy. But when we connect, we have a really good time. And what we found through our journey is the more that we open ourselves up, the more great people we learn from, the more great people we get to connect with, and our life just expands. And we know people all across the United States now, just like Tim and other friends.
A handful in Canada.
A few in Canada. We like them. They're okay. But the funny thing is we have expanded so much in just saying yes to one opportunity. And the opportunities continue to pile up, and they continue to get better, and we continue to see what else we can do and push our boundaries and get more frightened and then walk through that fear intentionally and not sure what to expect, but really excited to see what's next.
Yeah, I mean, you keep talking about what's so scary, but I've really learned that it's exciting for me.
Very true.
And like it's like, oh, it's kind of scary, but it's like, is that really just excitement that that's an opportunity for us?
For sure. For sure. And
that, I mean, that's because I'm a student of what we do.
Right. And what she's talking about is, I teach all of our clients this, and she teaches them now too. And what we really talk about is that fear and excitement have exactly the same physiological response. And so if you think about something that's scaring you, and then think about something that you really like to do, and in the very beginning, like getting on a roller coaster, some people say that's scary, but it's really so exhilarating, and it brings our heart up, and it brings our endorphins up, and it really is freaky. That's the same thing as what fear feels like, because our system turns on to that protection mode, that getting ready for something fascinating or something exciting to happen. And so we're in that physiological response of that. And then our head goes, whoop, scary. And really it's whoop, excited. What's next? And so we don't know how to track which one's which. But if we're used to saying it's scary, then our head starts telling all of the scary stories of what might happen. If we move to this idea of what's next, this is exciting, our head starts telling all about the exciting stories. And so our head, our thinking is all going to come from our emotional state. If we're in a balanced state, knowing that it's excitement, we'll have awesome stories of what's next. If our head is in that fear state, protecting, it's going to create all kinds of stories that we got to protect against. And so really what we want to do is we really want to start living in that balanced, intentional state. And so what we want for you guys today is to follow us, Generator Coaching. Just reach out, connect with us. Tell us what's going on with you. Tell us what you're excited about. Tell us what's going on in your life. We'd love to hear from you. And so Terry Wager, Christine McGinley, Generator Coaching. Follow us on Facebook. See us around. Get a hold of us. We'd love to talk to you.
And we'll see you tomorrow at 10:10, or your 1:10, or somewhere in between.
Maybe a few minutes late. We're really piling up the work. So we'll see you tomorrow.